Run! Go! Get to the Jibber Jabber!
Hey Valerie! It's on Apple Podcasts and Podomatic! Freaking awesome!
Jibber mother. That's Mother's Day, isn't it? As we record here, it's Mother's Day here on the Jibber Jabber podcast and everywhere else in the world. We hope you're treating your mothers to some nice Chianti and some... What are those? Lima beans. What were they called again?
Fava.
What beans were those? Fava beans. Fava beans.
Also, by the way, it's not Mother's Day everywhere.
Isn't it?
No, it's
It should
different.
be.
Different in different countries.
Every day should be a Mother's Day.
Every day is a Mother's Day.
Absolutely. Unless they're dead. Then it's not.
That's a bit grim, man.
Don't edit that out. I'm
that-
joking. I'm totally not editing.
No, you're not. You're editing nothing out. I can tell by that last episode that you're editing fucking nothing out.
Mate, I did edit stuff. The only difference is you didn't see where I edited, did you?
No, it must have been minimal because it was still 41 minutes long.
No, I did take out a couple things, but I felt it only right to give our audience the episode in full because it was so emotional on your end, right? It was so emotional and heartfelt that I wanted to keep every part of it because I believe a lot of the listeners listen to me. A lot of the listeners will have they'll have been on that journey with you, and I didn't want to just edit out half the journey when it's there for the taking.
Oh, it was fucking brutal. It
Well,
really was.
actually, it wasn't. It wasn't. Do you know why? Because the numbers came in today, and we're number 43 in the fucking TV and film charts, the highest ranked position we've ever been. So here's to you guys, the Jibber Jabber listeners, and here's to you, Jordan, for
Here's to
crying
me
on a
for
podcast.
greeting like a bitch.
I don't think that's genuinely. I don't think it's just because you're crying. I think the source material's there, but you crying obviously helps push it along. Huh?
How many times have I done that now? That must be the third time.
I'm gonna start calling you Gaza.
Don't steal my Walker's crisps.
Was that a 90s reference there?
Aye. Oh, you maybe know I've seen that because you're young. I'm old as fuck.
No, I definitely saw it. I did see it.
Did you? All right, that's fine.
Well, I
then.
just said, is that not a 90s reference? I was born in the 90s, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's been happening in the land of Kev?
In the land of Kev, well, as you see, we just started this show about 3 minutes ago, and we are here chatting the Jibber Jabber for the first time in a wee while. We actually are not. We're not coming at this episode with a complete and utter and a manuscript, so to speak. This is just a free-flowing Jibber Jabber where we feel it's best to kind of unwind a little bit and just kind of chat about what's been happening within weeks, what's been happening within our lives. Because we've been quite heavy on the deep dives and on the themed kind of Jibber Jabber shows where we thought, let's just strip it back a wee bit and just kind of chat a wee bit about what we've been up to and how the Jibber Jabber's been going. So in the land of Kevin, because that's my new name, the land of Kevin.
K-I-N-G.
G for gangster. Kevin. Mate, I'm gonna get some gold bling and fucking some grills in my teeth and be like, hey, auto-tune my voice and be called Kevin. YouTube sensation, same man. Mother's Day today. Popped in, saw my mum, saw my wife's mum. That was bloody fantastic. Saw my wife, made her breakfast in bed, cut the toast into pardon me, that's the gin. I cut my wife's toast into love hearts. Some strawberries. Cut up strawberries, had the kids run into the room in the morning. Happy Mother's Day, mother. Sorry, there we are again. Happy Mother's Day, Mum. And then I put the old Google HomePod on to, you know, that old Spice Girls song. Mama,
Oh my God.
love you. Oh, it was fucking cheesy, but wife loved it.
If you were to choose a type of cheese that represents, what type of cheese would it be?
Edam.
Edam. No, Edam's too mild for that chedderness.
What about fucking Wensleydale?
Nah, I'd be going with a fucking blue Stilton, like. That's cheesy.
What did you do for your missus?
We
your-
actually
your-
pretty much had Mother's Day yesterday. We went out shopping, and when we did that, what I do, because my son's only 5. What I do, I've done it for the last couple of years. I'll let him pick something for her, and then I'll buy her like a proper gift. So,
Aye.
like last year, I can't remember what I bought her, but last year he bought her a car air freshener and an energy-saving light bulb.
Mate, that's amazing. That's proficiency right there.
Yeah, but this year he bought her a giant stuffed unicorn.
That's nice. Like that.
And I bought her a wee. She loves Disney, and at the Braehead shopping centre, they've got a wee bit called the Gallery, basically where they sell paintings and pictures.
Oh, nice.
And they were selling these wee Disney prints, and she loves Mary Poppins, so I got her a Mary Poppins one. So yep, she loved that.
That's
and
awesome.
then we went out for dinner at night, just the two of us, which was really nice. We don't do something just the two of us very often, so nah, it was
Here to that.
yeah, it was good. It was we went to the Radstone Hotel, which is locally known as the Shawsburn because it used to be called the Shawsburn Hotel. But nice hotel, nice restaurant, nice food. I had salmon. I felt like
Salmon.
I felt like changing it up a bit. Whenever I go out for dinner, I always have either steak or chicken. I was like, I fancy something different, so I had salmon and dauphinoise potatoes.
Oh, the dauphinoise potatoes.
Aye, the dauphinoise.
Did you stay over in the hotel?
No, it's like 3 minutes down the road. That's a fucking waste of money.
There's something quite sexual about staying over in a hotel with your wife, huh?
Moving on.
I've been feeling tried, baby.
Fucking
Fucking.
wee Burniston reference there.
Nice.
So,
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Kevin had a meeting with the Bathgate Cinema manager to discuss the cinema takeover that we did last Sunday and how it actually went. Seemed to go okay in the day, but Kevin, give us the details.
So. In fact, what I'm going to do here is walk you through a wee story, right? We'll take it as it comes. So, the night previous to the day I was meeting the guy, it was said, right, if you're free in the afternoon, please could you come meet me at the cinema? I'm like, absolutely. So the next day comes, we do the school run with the kids, I get a shower. I'm at a cafe, fella. Come meet me here down at the cafe, please. So I go to the cafe, and I do that awkward thing where I'm walking past the cafe to look in to see that he's no sitting there. And I'm like, fucking hell. So then I walk back up again, and I look through the same cafe window, and I'm just double checking that I haven't missed him. And by this point, people are like, oh, there's that guy again. And they're obviously like, he's looking for something. So they're awkward. The customers in the cafe are awkwardly looking at me walking past, like looking at every seat. Then I message him and I'm like, here fella, are you sure you're in there? Because I can't see you. Right? So then I'm looking, I'm still looking in the window. I kind of just do that once more, walk past the cafe window, look in, I'm like, he's definitely not there. Then I look up because the cafe's within reach of the cinema. I look up, there he is outside his car. Like the cinema. I'm like, motherfucker. So I walk up to the cinema. I'm like, I guess you're not in the cafe then. He's like, oh, I've not even been. So he's had a hectic schedule that day. Then we head down at the cafe, and we just kind of get into the brass tacks of what's what. He orders his food. To which, do you know what's funny? The guy in the cafe, the wee waitress comes and she's like, "Hey, what would you like?" And he's like, "Oh, I'll have the soup. I'll have the soup." So she's like, "Okay, cool." She writes down the soup. She goes, and then we start talking about the cinema takeover. And then the guy comes for the kitchen, for the back, and goes, "Here, mate. Is it you ordered the soup, aye?" He's like, "Aye. It's just turned. Anything else you want?" I'm thinking to myself, what do you mean it's just fucking turned? Like, from what? Like, this shit fucking... Is this not fresh?
That's like
What do you mean?
it's
just
soup.
turned.
It's the soup of the day that was made 2 weeks ago.
Right? Like, with my 10-year experience in catering, right? You didn't fucking... You can... Fair enough, you can freeze soup at home, but not when you're in an establishment serving to the public. It's just a no-go. It's just turned. I was like, well, you know what's just turned my opinion ever buying fucking soup for here? Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I mean, so that was us sitting there in the cafe. We're just chatting away, without going into too fine a detail. The cinema takeover with a never-ending story that we just done was an absolute success. So first off, thanks to everybody that came, all the guys for the Jibber Jabber. We noticed a few people. Let's even give them a wee shout out. Kyle Martin, you brought your family along. It was much appreciated. Good to see you there. Todd Forrest, brother from another mother. Donna Anderson. Who else? Your siblings, Jordan.
Yeah, both of them.
Heather and Sarah. Who else was there? Well, my family was there. I've already thanked them. Who else did you notice? Did you notice?
Yeah, there was a couple of other people that used to work with and stuff, and then there was just some randoms that we've never seen before. That was cool.
Absolutely. And some guy had come from Ayrshire just to bring his child over to see that movie, to watch that movie. And you know that when I was told this by the cinema manager the other day in a meeting, and he said that he was speaking to a chap who said that he brought his son over from Ayrshire just so he could watch this movie with him on the big screen. I was like, that's what we wanted to achieve. That's exactly that was the heart of what we wanted to do with this project. Mm-hmm. And I was really happy that was the case.
Yeah, one thing that we do want to do is get people to keep going back to that cinema, because it's so convenient having it there. You don't need to go all the way into Livingston or go out to the showcase or whatever. You don't need to pay for your parking. You're saving money on fuel and blah blah blah. Also, it's just a nice kind of small
home away from home.
It's a nice kind of small business. It's a small business. You're not just feeding the big kind of multinational conglomerates. They make enough fucking money.
You're not funding them. Turn the frickin' frogs gay.
So keep coming to that cinema. I did speak to a lot of people after it who said, this is the first time I've been here and I'm definitely coming back, because
absolutely
it's an awesome wee place, and there's a lot to be said for keeping small businesses alive, and I think this is one of the main things that we wanted to do with this takeover, and yeah, it was a success. We are going to do it again, and we shall be announcing a date for it soon, hopefully, and
absolutely,
hopefully it will go on for at least maybe a year if it keeps going at the same kind of with the same momentum that it's had so far. So.
Well, what happened, he did say that we are literally, you guys will have seen on our social media that we announced Labyrinth will be our next cinema takeover. We haven't got a date at this precise time, and the reason for that is the Avengers movie Endgame comes out roughly the same weekend as we were hoping to do this, and because they're contractually obligated to play a certain amount of screenings of that in a certain amount of screens, that leaves us very limited for what we can do in regards to space. So it might be just a tad longer before you get to see the Jibber Jabber cinema takeover in theatres again, which again it won't be that long, but once the ball's rolling with that, once we've got a date, it'll be announced. Tickets will be on sale literally as we announce it. And another thing that was asked of us when I went for this meeting was that we provide a list of classic movies. So here's an idea, Jordan. We'll talk about this right now. Why don't we allow the Jibber Jabber community to basically, we will put a poll out and they can add their own options, and the one with the most votes gets added to our list.
Yeah. I actually don't think we need to do it as a poll. I think what we can do is just get them. We'll put out a wee a wee post, and they can just comment with what they'd like to see. All we need to do is say, listen, it has to be from like the 80s or 90s, basically. At this point, that might change once we get through all the good ones.
Well, it's going to.
But listen, in regards to the whole Endgame thing getting in the way, I don't really mind that, because it has been ages since we've had a superhero film.
Aye. What, 3 minutes?
We don't get them every second day. You know what I mean? It's actually when I was a kid, like a superhero film coming out was like a rarity, and it was something to be excited about. Now I get excited when one that isn't a superhero film comes out. I'm fucking fed up of them. I'm so fed up of superhero films. I think the last one I actually sat all the way through was probably Man of Steel.
Man of Steel, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
What was that, 2013?
It was a while ago.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Well, there's that. So, aye.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll put out a post, and you guys can make your 80s and 90s suggestions as to what you'd like to see in the cinema, and we'll take that on board and see if we can work our list around that. But we'll do that. Absolutely. We'll do that tonight, and you guys can start kind of dealing with that over the next couple of days. So yeah, you can do the work on this one, motherfuckers.
And we have to go and get the rights from the selective movie companies to be able to play it. So not everything that you might suggest might be able, we might not be able to get the rights for it, but usually we're alright for that kind of thing, and it costs a lot of money for these rights. So to kind of break down how the cinema takeover works, Jordan and I, the Jibber Jabber podcast, make absolutely zero money in these Jibber Jabber ventures. Well, the cinema takeovers especially. What happens is we actually put money into it for advertising and stuff like that. Bandwidth and fucking storage. Alright, so we put our money into this. The cinema take a risk by paying the money for the fee from the company, be it Warner Brothers or Lionsgate, wherever they get it. And then when the ticket is purchased, the cinema, not the cinema, the movie companies actually take the majority of the whack from the cinema ticket, leaving the cinema with like the lesser cut. So when you're going to a cinema takeover, if you're attending one, we do ask that you buy your popcorn and stuff there, because, like we said, it's a local company. They take the hit, we take the hit. It's the major movie companies that make a lot of the money. But just by doing something as simple as paying £3 for a packet of Maltesers actually does make a big difference. And what happened when we held the Never Ending Story, everybody came, they brought their kids, the kids bought slush puppies, everybody had a great time, bought tickets, and they bought food and refreshments, and it was an absolute financial success for the cinema, to the point where they asked us back and want us to do more, which is going to lead to more projects in the future, which I kind of go down the line into talking about right now, because it's still in the why don't we try this, why don't we try that stage. But there's some really exciting stuff for everybody to share, and especially for the guys that are listening, because you identify with us because we love the same stuff as you do, and we're going to love it, so you guys are definitely going to love it.
Absolutely, Bob. So we will announce very shortly when the next one's going to be. Once we know, you will know. Also, Kevin, have you seen anything funny on social media recently that you'd like to talk about? Because I saw one just about half an hour ago that I nearly pissed myself laughing at.
I did see one thing, and it was an ad for Edinburgh Comic Con. One that sounds a little bit like this.
Come along to the Corn Exchange in Edinburgh on the 6th and 7th of April for Edinburgh Comic Con. That's right, the meeting place for all things comic book, film and television. We have a world of guests from all of these media who will be more than happy to take photographs with you and sign things for you. But make sure you bring money. They lack money, as do we all. You're going to need to spend some too and buy some tickets, which you can get on Eventbrite. Just type in Edinburgh Comic Con 2019. The fine fellows, Kevin and Jay, from the Jibber Jabber podcast will also be attending. Also, I said that funny. Also be attending. If you see us, if you know us, we'll be very surprised. But please come and talk to us. You never know. We might say something funny. Heh. Once again, tickets are still on sale at eventbrite.com. There are also special tickets for you superfans out there, which give you early entry, so that it's a little quieter, and you won't need to wait in queues longer than King Kong's finger to buy some cool stuff. We will have hundreds of vendors, and many, many more attractions for you fans out there. This is an event by the fans, for the fans. Bring your friends. Bring your family. Don't bring animals, because they're dirty. Thank you, and we'll see you there.
Abso-fucking-lutely. But aside from that, what have you seen on social media?
It was actually a really short video, but basically, it was this girl. She was doing the Snapchat shit where they try and look cute and all that. So she's got her glasses in her mouth, and she just kind of looks at the camera, takes the glasses out, and smiles. She'd accidentally sent it to her dad, right? Her dad sent her one back where he does the same thing. He's just like, got the glasses in his mouth. He takes them out, looks straight at the camera, and goes, "You're dumb as fuck."
I've seen a lot of those.
That was class. There's just something about that accent as well. That it's kind of Southern American accent. You're dumb as fuck.
I tell you, the world today compared to what it was when I was growing up, and I was sitting thinking about the other day when I was in the car, and I genuinely was thinking this. I was thinking, God, I'm so glad the internet wasn't a thing when I was growing up, because the amount of shit I'd have done on it, just like the amount of stuff I'd have tried fearlessly and would still come back to haunt me, for fuck's sake. God.
That's class. Another thing I seen was a guy who he got arrested because he, in protest against a pro-vegan protest, he stood in front of them and ate a raw squirrel. Now, personally, I think that the act itself of doing that is a bit shitty, but it's no shitter than stuff that some of these vegan protesters have done. Anyway, I can't figure out what the criminal charge would be for that. It wasn't a live squirrel. He can't get done for animal cruelty. He probably just picked it up off the fucking ground. He probably got run over. Yeah. Or ironically, the vegans maybe trampled it when they were marching up the street with their wee fucking stupid jeans on. But yeah. I can't figure out what the criminal charge would be. If anybody wants to hazard a guess at it, you can put it in the comments section.
Well, I could actually give you a wee take on this. I think it might be something like disruption of the peace or something like that. These people are probably, I would assume, the vegan protesters were protesting, amicably. Just a polite protest, or were they? I mean, what was said on it?
Those ones might have been, but I've yet to see one where they're being amicable.
Well,
because they always tend to be pretty extreme.
Well, more extreme than eating a fucking dead squirrel.
It's still just eating food. It's just not to say that's no food. Maybe he just likes it really fucking rare.
My opinion on that, right, is so. It's that old thing. So the vegans want to protest, and understandably, I can understand why they would protest as vegans. Absolutely understand their point, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not a vegan, but as a human being, I'll look at it objectively and go, right, hurting animals, the way the animals are treated, terrible. Everything. We all really should be vegan in regards to the respect for the animals and why they're being treated the way they are. Now, that we're not, so that's the case. We're not all. So for these vegans to protest, it's a passion of theirs and it's something they care about. It's through love, right? Now, this asshole's going up and eating a squirrel just to poke at a protest. See, if he doesn't want to be vegan, all he needs to do is eat meat. That's it. He's annoyed the vegans as much as he can. There's no need to go up to somebody, a group of vegans, and but here's me. It's a dick move, I think.
But they don't live by that mantra anyway. I mean, I've had it where they've come up to me in the street in Glasgow and started showing me pictures of mutilated animals. I didn't ask for that.
Yeah, I bet you they said neither did the animal.
Honestly, man, it is. I've said this before on the previous incarnation of this podcast. I said it before. The way animals get treated is horrendous. I just honestly don't give a fuck. There's no, you can't make me, like, I've watched 1,000 videos of like chicks getting thrown into mincers because they don't meet the grade, and I've seen cows and horses put through the big fucking shredders, and it's nasty to look at, but it's not going to stop me eating meat. There's
No, that's
and I think I'm
absolutely
at
fine.
that, I'm at that point where I'm like, well, I've seen as nasty as it gets, and it's still not going to stop me. And
Yeah, well,
I'm quite happy to let them do what they're doing. It's fine. It's actually quite commendable. They've got the willpower to do that, and they're sensitive enough that that kind of stuff gets to them. That's absolutely fine. But personally, for me, it hasn't happened. It might happen one day, and I might listen to everything I've said in the past about it and think I was a complete arsehole. Sometimes I do say things just to be an arsehole about it, but I do totally get what they're trying to do. What that guy did was a bit dickish, but I still can't see how it was a criminal offence. Anywho, that's that. Anything else to add to that one, Kevin? You can shoot me down in flames again if you want. It was cool.
no,
It's
no,
actually
I'm
nice
not.
to-
Wouldn't
It's nice
shoot
to
you
have a
down.
wee kind of semi kind of argument over something for a change.
It's not even so much an argument because, like I say, I eat meat, so I can't be a hypocrite and be like, ah. But I have to say that I don't think vegans are wrong. I totally, if I had enough strength and enough willpower, if I wasn't weak, I'd probably be a vegan, man. But for me, I've got too many excuses as to why I'm not. One is I do enjoy meat, so
Kev
you know.
loves the meat.
But I just think we're individually, vegan or no vegan, meat eater, whatever, carnivore, herbivore, we just don't have to be dicks about other people wanting to you know, if I felt I was wrong done or something was wrong done enough to care about it, to go out and do something to make a difference, I just don't think there should be someone there taking the piss. Which reminds me of an interview where a vegan was on some sort of TV show. I don't recognise the guy that was the presenter. He probably is American for sure. That's probably why I don't know who he is, but he's one of the lesser known ones probably. And he's got a vegan on as a guest, right? And the vegan's talking about why she's vegan and all these different things. And then as she's doing so, and he's like, oh yeah, his fucking wee runner girl brings him up a plate of steak, right? And he sits there, oh yeah, go on. And he's eating a steak whilst she's talking to him. And I just thought, what an absolute fucking arsehole. Like, as a person, give her the respect. She's came on your show, give her the respect. Just he deliberately is taking that fucking piss out of her. Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
I just thought, nah, there's no need to be an asshole in any way. Like, when I've been out, I've walked past vegans in Edinburgh, and they were protesting, and they were drawing things on the ground. Veganism is all this and blah, blah, blah. And I was with people at the time. It was like, oh, this makes me fancy a big fucking burger. Oh, I'm going to go and get myself a big burger. All this vegan chat's making me hungry. And I turned and I was like, stop being a dick. Like, don't be a dick about it. You don't need to go up to them and explain you want to eat meat just because there's a difference of opinion, you know what I mean? You can walk away and eat your burger in peace. That's the joys of it.
I'm absolutely all for what they're doing, and I'm all for just live and let live. Like, if they weren't so in your face about trying to convert you and trying to make you feel like a fucking terrible person, people would maybe be more likely to listen to them. But they're just so aggressive and nasty with the way they approach it. Not all of them, but most of the ones that get the attention, like you said, it's the squeaky wheel that makes the most noise, and gets the most attention. So I think there probably are nice ones out there. I've met one. We know one mutually who's one of the fucking nicest guys I've ever met. And he doesn't stuff it down your face. In fact, he never even mentioned to us that he was vegan. I just kind of worked it out.
Same.
Mate, I'm going to say something, but can I just ask first? Are you a vegan? And he was like, aye. I was like, you're the fucking first one that's never told me within 3 seconds of meeting you. And like I said, I'm all for what they're doing. I'd rather they just did it in their own circles and didn't hold up traffic for it.
The way the world would be if everybody just done that on their views, eh?
Yeah, just do what you want to do. If you want to do it to try and make the world 1% better, fine. It's fine. Go and do your thing. But yeah, the squirrel eating thing was a bit dickish, but I can't really see the criminal side of it unless he actually incited some kind of violent act by doing it. I don't know.
A lot of these posts don't actually go into it. Do you know, I saw a funny post. I say funny, right? My wife was like, "Why are you laughing so hard at this?" Right? And it was, the reason it came up on her timeline was because I actually commented on it, and it said, "Woman loses forehead because she had her feet up in the car when it crashed, right? And I was like, did she find it, right? I wrote, did she, right? Like, did she eventually find it, right?
Anyway, where the fuck's my
any
forehead?
road. Because it's such a random thing to lose, right? Anyway, right? So my wife actually read the article. I didn't. I just thought, time for a good wee comment. And the picture they displayed in the clickbait, she had a forehead. I just thought, what a fucking stupid thing to post. Someone lost their forehead, and I thought, I hope she finds it, right? Anyways, any road, right? so what happened was, she had her feet up on the dashboard,
Yep.
right? She had her feet up on the dashboard, and the car crashed. And what happened was her face like fucking shattered like a milk teaser if you squeeze it right. And what happened? She just literally avoided death. She had a brain bleed, fucking fractured everything in her face. They rebuilt her face, but without a forehead, right? And I saw this picture. And can you imagine someday like with no forehead? So it's like after the eyebrows, it just goes in. And then up, right? And I'm sitting there thinking, man, see you're sitting watching telly, right? Just fucking chuck the remotes above her eyebrows. You'll never lose them again.
A great place to hold a pint.
I know. But then I had to remember the severity of it. The woman could have died and blah blah blah. But hey. She had no forehead. Oh, the things. See if that was my wife. Obviously, I'd be very sad that that had happened, and I am very sad for the person that lost said forehead, right? but see if she lived in my house, I'd be putting all sorts. I'd be putting fucking incense candles on her fucking head.
She was walking about looking like an oil burner. You put the candle in her mouth and put the oil in the flat bit.
As you can. I'd be stirring the bolognese and I'd just, instead of putting the spoon in, I'd just fucking chuck it on her head. If you are listening, flathead lady that doesn't have a forehead, we're very sorry about your what happened to you.
I think her name
genuinely-
her name was Michelle, but I'm just going to call her Michelle.
Michelle. No. Listen, we're not
Can
being
walk about there going all
insensitive,
by myself.
No. All joking aside, we hope that
Oh man.
we hope that she gets a new forehead somehow. I mean, we can do.
Why is that so funny? This is sick, man. Oh.
Right. Well, listen, the world has come along. If Bruce Jenner can fucking tuck his dick in and call himself Caitlyn, we can find this lassie a new forehead, yeah? So on that note with the forehead, listen, we're really sorry it happened. We're not laughing at the fact that she doesn't have a forehead, right? We're just laughing because we made a couple jokes about it. And if you don't laugh about things, you'll cry. And I don't want to cry, do you?
Nah, I've had enough of that shit after the last episode.
Just go back to the last episode, which, by the way, currently has us sitting at number 43 in the Podomatic TV and film chart.
Yes. Thank you very much again,
keep
people.
growing and growing. Growing and growing, you know. The highest we'd got to recently was like 70, and that was a first that we'd ever been in the top 100, which is insane, because some podcasters don't even make it to the top fucking 3,000. Here we are. I mean, just to put in a bit of perspective, there's well over 5,000 like categories. Sorry, not categories. Podcasts within the TV and film section. And when you start off, you're obviously right at the fucking bottom pile of that. And we are in this not even a year, and we're in the top fucking 100. We're in the top 50 as of today. Right? That speaks fucking volumes.
Things you're saying.
So see
You're
listening.
saying not even a year. It's not even been 6 months on Podomatic.
Hasn't it? Really?
No.
Huh? Oh, on Podomatic, aye, absolutely.
So, no man, I
Fucking
think
hell.
we're
So
doing pretty well.
Absolutely. See, guys, if you're listening to this, pat yourself on the fucking back, mate, because we appreciate you. And by the way, see the guys that are listening that aren't from the UK, go and send us a wee direct message or something and let us know like who you are. Let's get a wee bit familiar, because we know you're listening consecutively, but we don't know you. So whoever's listening to this that's not from the UK, please get in contact. I would like to hear from you. jibberjabberscotland@gmail.com. Fucking wire in there. Let us know who you are. Tell us a wee bit about yourself. Maybe read it on the show.
Bar in. I watched The Dirt on Netflix, which is the autobiographical movie about Motley Crue. Now, I actually only really discovered Motley Crue about maybe 9 months ago. I'd never really. It was one of the ones where, once I started listening to them, I was like, "Oh, I know that song. But I actually really quite like them, man. It's 80s as fuck when it comes to rock and metal, but it's pretty decent. But the film, man, Jesus, it hits you with slabs for every direction. It's funny, it's mental, it's sad, it's harrowing. There's fuck, man. It's this big massive crazy cake, and I couldn't get enough of it. I actually sat down to watch it again the other night. I thought, you know what, Mel might like this. I was like, my wife might actually like this. So we put it on. 20 minutes in, she goes, "Jordan, this is really loud and shit." I was like, oh well, just be turning that off then.
It doesn't. My wife didn't like the look of it, but I actually love rock music. I've been a musician for over 15 years, so I assume I'm going to love it. And I really loved the Def Leppard story, the original one, Hysteria, the Def Leppard story. That's one of my all-time favourite when it comes to biographic movies. So if it's anything like that, I love it. And you know, I've been putting off watching it because I'm not ready for how awesome it may just be, and I don't want to watch it with my wife because I don't want her fucking moaning about it. So. So I'm definitely going to watch it.
Yeah, 100%, man. Everybody's really good in it as well. You know, and the funny thing is, like, when you watch it, you go, fucking hell, Tommy Lee was actually the most reserved of them.
Aye,
They're absolutely bananas.
It's because he fucked Pamela Anderson on a boat. Is probably the reason you thought he was.
Before that, he was married to Heather fucking Locklear, man. The guy knows how to pick him. And the wee guy that cut off the boy's dick in Game of Thrones, what was his name again?
Iwan Rhea.
Yeah, him. He's really good in it, man. I really enjoyed him.
Oh, is he in it?
He plays the lead guitarist. He plays Mick Mars.
Oh, brilliant.
And he's good, man. And everybody's good in it, actually. Everybody's really good. I don't have any complaints about any of them.
No, absolutely
and it's
not.
100% worth watching. So, Kev, what you been watching, sunshine?
Well, my wife she's wanting to watch Mad Max the trilogy, right? I was like, oh, absolute, we'll fucking do it, because she started, like, my wife will go through phases of playing PlayStation games at night when kids are in bed, just something to get the old mental stimuli. Anyhow, she started playing the Mad Max game. And the idea of it, so she was like, "What's Mad Max actually about?" I'm like, "It's just a post-apocalyptic kind of thing with Mel Gibson in it." So alright, I fancy watching the trilogy. I thought, alright, cool. But I had also in my mind another movie that I wanted for her to watch, and better out than in Jandor, eh?
Thanks for that one, by the way. When I sent you a fart the other day just to make you smile, and you put it on the Facebook group, you fucking bellend.
Do you know what the best it is? I actually uploaded it before we filmed our Still Game episode, right? So I uploaded it, then we done a full podcast, gave enough people time to comment on it, and then you were like, "Dude, you uploaded the fart," and I just pissed myself, mate.
Freaking awesome!
God. So where was I? I was talking about how I had another movie in mind for my wife and I to watch, and I thought we'll get this one out the way because when you watch Mad Max 1, you're going to then want to watch the second and third. So if we get this one out the way, it gets it over and done with, and then we can commence watching the trilogy of Mad Max. So, the movie I opted for her to watch last night was The Hitcher, but the 2007 release with Sean
I
Bean.
actually quite liked that, I remember.
Yeah, and so did I. So I thought, there's a wee thing, like, see movies released from, say, 97 right up to about 2008, 2009. That was a good, like, for me, it's a good period when they release movies for stuff like thrillers, good thrillers, even some comedies, right? There's a lot of, and they're unsung as well. They're ones that'll never go down as classics, but they're fucking good. Like While She Was Out, Eden Lake, all that kind of stuff. The Hitcher, Vacancy, these kind of things. And I wanted, I racked my brain for good ones to show the wife because how sometimes you go through moods of we're in the mood to stick to these kind of movies. You go through a wee bit of a phase.
Yeah.
Well, we're in that kind of phase. Before we hit Mad Max, I was like, let's watch The Hitcher. I want to see what you think about it. So we watched The Hitcher. As I said, it was good. My wife enjoyed it, and I was just like, that's it. That when we were watching the movie, I was like, this. See how that guy's tied up between the trucks? All right. I was like, see in the original, it's her. She's tied up. I was like, but they've changed it, you see. They did. They changed who was tied between the trucks.
I don't think I've seen the original. Was the original Rutger Hauer or something? I can't remember who was in it.
I think it was. I always remember the woman's face. The original Hitcher, I can get the details for it right now. The Hitcher, he was up inside ya. The 86 one was, yes, Rutger Hauer. But the lassie was Jennifer Jason Leigh, who played the girl, right? And I always remember her, like, being chased down, because I watched this when I was a kid. I used to go to my grand's and she'd have something on the telly. She wouldn't say, let's sit down and watch this, but it'd be on when I was staying over. And I remember watching it, and I remember seeing Jennifer Jason Leigh getting ripped in half by two lorries, and I thought to myself, you're a bastard. When I was a kid, so yeah, I wanted the wife to see the remake, because you know what, and this goes for Fright Night as well. Fright Night we watched not too long ago, but it was the remake, because my wife sees it. I'll say, right, let's watch the original, then we can watch a remake. And she's like, alright, let me see a trailer for it. And see, when an 80s trailer plays, there's no way she's watching it, man. There's just something about 80s trailers that screams old, even if the movie's
they were still far from perfecting the movie trailer in the 80s. I mean, a lot of the time it's just, it's like they've finished filming it, and then within like 3 minutes they've thrown together a trailer and got some fucking bad voiceover artist to do the voice for it, and oh man, I mean, there's some, like, I think unless you need to keep the secret of what a film's about, like Cloverfield, although the film itself I don't really rate it, but Cloverfield had a really clever ad campaign, because all it showed you was a big chunk out of the Statue of Liberty, and you're like, what the fuck is this film? And they kept the secret. I didn't even know it was a monster film until I went and seen it.
Yeah.
So if you need to keep that secret, fine. But if there's not a secret to keep, then make sure that the trailer actually gives you a good idea what the film's going to be like. Otherwise, it's just nonsense. And so many 80s trailers were like that.
It's just nonsense.
That's one they made a massive mistake with as well, was Terminator 2. The ad campaign for Terminator 2, it could have been so good if they never gave away the fact that Arnie was the goodie. Spoiler alert!
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's like the whole kind of first half hour of the film is kind of building up to the first kind of wee kind of meeting between the T-1000 and the Terminator. And if you hadn't seen the trailer and knew he was the good guy, you still don't know.
Aye.
And that could have been an amazing kind of moment when you're watching it for the first time, going, "Oh, he's the good guy! No fucking way!" But
yeah,
they gave
I
it away.
know.
So you can go to
For me,
too
it didn't
far the
really
other way.
matter.
You can definitely go too far the other way. But
Didn't really matter for me because I was too young to even know what a movie was when Terminator 2 came out. So that was lost on me. I figured it out when I watched it. So I suppose I got the best of that, didn't I?
very possibly. Mm-hmm.
You know, thing is, thrillers and horrors have kind of lost what they used to be about. I heard a story about a guy that avoided the subscribe button and was killed by a pamphlet.
He was just an average content viewer.
What can I say about Davey? He really didn't like to subscribe too much, you know?
He was a nice young boy. It's a shame about what happened to him, you know?
Until one tragic evening. Put it this way, David would neglect the subscribe here buttons.
Yes, it was a quiet town until that tragic evening. Nothing like that ever happened round here.
We have it on great authority that young David was mutilated by a pamphlet containing the words subscribe here. It is not known exactly where this pamphlet came from at this present time, but police are looking into it. Don't be like David. Subscribe to the Jibber Jabber podcast and avoid death.
Aye, mate, what it is I can't somebody, right, he didn't subscribe to the Jibber Jabber podcast, and a chopstick fell in his eye.
Subscribe to the Jibber Jabber podcast now.
Aye, mate, you need to go and subscribe, like, 'cause it's a curse, and if you didn't subscribe, it kills you.
Disclaimer, curse does not exist or kill you.
Yep, so make sure you guys go and subscribe, because if you don't, you could be killed by anything mysterious, be it a pamphlet, be it a picture frame. Regardless, it can kill you. YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. By the way, our Instagram's on fucking fire, mate. Every time we post something, there's like well over 100 people liking it. Even randoms are commenting. Dude, that's shit hot, eh?
I've actually still installed Instagram on my new phone.
Install that shit and have a look. It's fucking
It's because I don't
crazy,
really
mate.
understand it. It's like Twitter, man. It's all just
Yeah.
fucking. It's all Latin to me.
That's what happens when you're old, man. Then again, I even feel like that because a lot of the time I'm trying to plug all of it. Try to plug all the stuff online, you know. There are younger boys and girls, pardon me, than us, that just understand the world of social media better than we do, and they're millionaires. I know that you gripe when you see that a young child is making £150,000 a month playing Fortnite, and it really fucking grinds your gears, doesn't it?
No, not at all.
You sure?
Yeah, man, I'm totally happy for these wee wankers.
Yeah, see if anybody's listening and thinks they can do a better job of our social media than us. Fucking geez a shout, because you just joined the Jibber Jabber podcast. Like on the social media end, we did have a social media guy, but it kind of sunk into obscurity.
Yeah, he did. Oh well.
Whatever happened to
Oh
that
well.
guy? Whatever happened to that guy? Eh?
What happened to that guy?
Eh? Aye.
So, Line of Duty starts again tonight. Tonight being Sunday, the 31st of.
The 31st.
Yes, the 31st of March.
Mate!
Line of Duty is a British cop show. At its centre, that's the essence of it. It's a cop show. Now, normally I can't be arsed with cop shows because they're all the fucking same, but this one is cracking. It deals with the anti-corruption side of the British police force. So they're always kind of going after corrupt cops, which is I find the idea of a corrupt cop so much more enticing than just your normal kind of run-of-the-mill bad guys and gangsters. So it's on. I think this is season 5 that's just starting. So that means that there's been 4 already. So there's been 4. This is 5. The first 4 seasons are fucking cracking. This one, it looks like it's going to possibly be even better. And it's introducing Stephen Graham into the show. Now I really like Stephen Graham. Most of you will know him as Tommy from Snatch. Great wee actor, literally wee. He's fucking tiny, but really good actor. He's funny. Like I remember seeing him in This Is England, which is a film I fucking detested, but he was brilliant in it. He was really, really good. Just like terrifying. Just had a look of dead fucking nastiness in his eyes. Just really, really good. I've liked him in everything that I've seen him in. So he's getting introduced into this season. It looks like he's one of the bad guys. I might be wrong. It does twist and turn quite a lot. So my wife's watched it without me tonight, bitch. But I'm really looking forward to watching that. It's on BBC One at 9 o'clock on a Sunday.
Absolutely. Do you know what I watched recently, actually?
Porn.
Which is a Netflix. No. You know they're doing a porn ban in the UK very soon, where you've actually got to put your credit card details in
no, man.
to verify your age.
Imagine there was a way to get around that, like a VPN.
Any road.
Job done.
Any road. So I watched a Netflix special which I actually rated 8 out of 10 on IMDb. Go check out imdb.com. Tell them Jibber Jabber sent you. They might just pay us, or they won't. And guess what I watched?
What did you watch?
It was called Triple Frontier. Have you seen it?
No, that's the new Ben Affleck, Charlie Hunnam vehicle, isn't it?
Yes, and it was actually displayed like 4 times before the Neverending Story at our cinema takeover.
You know what? I did find that funny. Like the trailers that we were getting during that film were just so inappropriate for the film that we were there to see. But it made me smile. Like normally when you go to see a kids film, all you get is kids trailers. But this one, it didn't show any red band trailers or anything. It's nothing that's going to traumatise anybody or nothing that you can make a complaint about. But it was just cool. It was cool to see like a trailer for an action film before the Neverending Story.
Mate, that was awesome. But it was actually a good movie. The movie Triple Frontier was really good. It's about military guys, FBI agents, and they're like, yo, we've all kind of dedicated our life to the force, and none of us can even pay our fucking mortgage at the end of it. So how about we go and get down, we band together as all 5 of us, and we just independently work for this group who are going to pay us. We're allowed to, because this big drug lord has like billions of pounds in this house away in the jungle, and within the jungle is where they'll find that money and the drug lord. But they obviously have to infiltrate it and kill the drug lord and all that shit. But they're allowed to keep most of the money. So they're like, how about we do this one last job? We all go through there and we kill the drug lord who I've been trying to catch for 12 years. This is the only way I'll finally get to catch him. Like, leave the force and we'll all be millionaires and look after our families. How does that sound? They're all in, Ben Affleck and all that. They go to the jungle, and I'll not talk any more about it, but let's just say this. Expect the unexpected, because these guys expected the unexpected, but the unexpected still crept up on them, and it's really good.
I know you said you rated it 8 out of 10 on IMDb. What's its IMDb rating sitting at just now?
Its IMDb rating is sitting at currently 6.5.
6.5. I've got it on Rotten Tomatoes. The tomato meter, or the tomatometer. I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it tomatometer or tomato meter?
I think it's a tomato.
I'm going with tomatometer. I like that better.
Right, that's
so
fine.
The tomatometer is at 73%. So that's obviously going by critics' reviews, I believe. The audience score is only 59%, so it's like 6 out of 10. So that's not bad though. For there's a lot of films that come out that do get nowhere fucking near that. So
that's a fucking look.
I might.
One should be the Nun.
I might.
Like, we should just erase the Nun from anything. It shouldn't be a thing. Or just reboot the Nun, but actually make a fucking decent movie. How's that sound?
Yeah. So I might actually give that a wee watch at some point.
It's actually good. I would recommend it to you, Squire.
Excellent. We'll definitely give that a wee shot. Have I seen anything else recently worth talking about? I started watching a documentary on Amazon.
Aliens.
No, it was on Amazon Prime and it was called VHS Massacre. Now I wasn't actually sure what it was about when I was watching it, but it's basically about the decline of physical media and like the decline of actually owning something. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in the last episode where I like to look through my DVDs. I like to hold them. I don't feel like something's mine just because I've typed in my credit card details and I've now got a digital copy of it. And it was about the decline of Blockbuster Video to start off with, and then it kind of moves on to.
I worked for Blockbuster.
Excellent. We can talk about that in a second. I'd imagine you'd be like that guy in Clerks that works in video shop. That's you.
The only reason I worked in Blockbuster was because it was a passion. I did not care about getting paid.
Aye. Yeah, you never told me this before. This could be something we can talk about.
Yes.
So, I didn't get a chance to watch it all, unfortunately, but it looked quite interesting. Which is, I mean, it is quite hard to find something interesting on Amazon Prime, but I managed. But it's probably only interesting if you're actually interested in the business of film.
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, please do. It's actually about like it's 3 podcasters that go out to kind of delve into what's actually going on in that world. So it was cool. I think they started filming it in 2012. It was shot over 2 years or something. But no, it's cool. They all mentioned that like the Netflix is basically what killed Blockbuster. But I'm pretty sure in 2012, Netflix was still just an online DVD subscription service mainly. So they still sent it out to you. But
No, that was Love Film. That was Amazon Prime.
No, the Netflix started off that way as well.
Are you
I'm
sure?
Oh fuck, man! If I've got that wrong, I'm going to feel like a right fucking moron.
I know that Love Film did, which is now Amazon Prime, because I used to subscribe to fucking Love Film and I used to get them sent through the door, and you would send them back in an envelope prepaid by them. Netflix, I think, was the very first one that came out where they obtained the license, so you could just type in your details and play it straight up. I'm pretty sure, just going on me being at the forefront of it, because anything that was movies, I had my finger on the pulse, and I don't ever remember Netflix ever sending it out to you, not once. It's always.
Oh, here's one here. There's an article, and it says, yes, people still use Netflix's DVD service, but why? Let's see where this comes from. So that
mate, see if Netflix still have a DVD service. Where do I find that?
I'm just going to see if I can find when this article was actually released. April 5th, 2017, which isn't that long ago, really.
Right, so they did then.
So it looks like I was right. They started off as a DVD rental service where it was like the Amazon one, Love Film, whatever, where they actually sent it out to you.
Do you know Netflix will not exist in 5 years.
Netflix itself.
Netflix will not exist in 5 years.
Netflix.
Maybe a bit longer than 5 years.
Netflix is in so much debt just now that it's not even funny.
Yep. Do you know how much they paid just to keep Friends on the air?
$100 million for a year, for a fucking year.
So that tells you that Friends is obviously one of the top grossing, and it's amazing. Friends is just one of those things you cannot touch. It's fucking gold. I'll argue with anybody. Friends is amazing.
Yeah, Friends was good, man.
Friends was just fucking.
Still think
awesome.
one of my favourite ever jokes in Friends was when they were looking at the old video when they were getting ready for prom, and Monica's fat, and she's like, "Oh come on, the camera adds £10," and Chandler goes, "So how many cameras are on you?"
Friends is too good. Thing is, Netflix will cease to exist because YouTube has the better model, doesn't it?
I don't know, you man. I think YouTube's getting quite careful about the content they're putting out there. I think Netflix is more likely to give us the stuff that's kind of anti-establishment. YouTube isn't.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Netflix pay for the content. YouTube doesn't.
I mean, that's something we can debate on a later show.
Yeah. However, I just like to put my hand up and say I wouldn't mind paying an extra fee for the Netflix if it helped. and I really wouldn't mind ads between episodes. I mean, I'm going to hate it if I'm watching a movie and an ad comes up during the movie. That's going to piss me the fuck off. But if, like, see when I'm watching a movie, see if I'll watch a YouTuber, and if they're good movie reviewers, movie critics, or hey, check out my DVD collection, these guys, right? People that do it for the love of it. When I see an ad pop up on their channel, I don't skip it, and I'll let them have the revenue for that because I'm enjoying it. I'll give them that, and I think it's the same for Netflix.
Do you know that the problem is that people are so fucking entitled these days that they feel like everything should be free and they shouldn't need to watch adverts.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you think the BBC charges a TV license? Because they don't advertise. So you need to pay the BBC because they don't advertise. Now, I know a lot of people don't do it anymore, but like when it comes to YouTube, stuff like that, or even Netflix, if Netflix started doing it, the thing is, quite often on Netflix, when you start watching a show or a film, you'll get a trailer before it for another Netflix special of some kind, or a Netflix movie, or a stand-up comedy, or whatever, probably semi-related to what you're watching anyway. But it's only ever for stuff by Netflix. But if they were to start sticking up an advert for like fucking Durex or something before it, I wouldn't care. We all know what Netflix and chill is.
Ah, absolutely. Right, and we are enjoying Netflix for what it is. Their Netflix originals over the last couple of years have been fucking phenomenal.
Mate, for the price you pay for Netflix as well, it's fucking amazing.
Right, absolutely. So I totally would be up for that. You know what? I'm sending an email to Netflix and see if they'll endorse this fucking show. Oh boy, we don't want money. Just give us a free Netflix subscription and we'll fucking send folk your way. I mean, did you hear we're number 43 in the Podomatic charts in TV and film? So, but yeah, totally. Stop being tight arses, people. You know, if you pay, I do agree though. You pay your fee. I think if you pay your fee for Netflix, it would be okay for Netflix to put an option: watch with ads, watch without ads, right? But when you make that choice, if a wee window pops up and it's some guy for Netflix going, "Hi there," before you make your selection, please understand something: we're fucked, and if you want to keep us, please add the ads.
I think the problem
right?
is it's always bad business for a business to come out and say that they're fucked.
No, do you know that? Look at what it is, man. If something's fucked, the people that care about it, if they know it's fucked, they'll always rally around to do their bit to save it. Right? It's ego that gets in the way, mate. Look at what we just done with the
Kev,
cinema.
could you go to the other side so I can actually see you? Yeah, man. No, I can't.
Me? Why do you need to see me?
So I can see your face, so I can get like an understanding of what you're actually saying and how you're reacting.
Because I'm beautiful. Is it because I'm
You're
beautiful?
beautiful.
Yeah, I know. Nah, I'm only joking.
Um,
I'm one of those middle-aged men now.
That's me now.
So, aye, we need adverts on these things to keep them sustainable, and eventually that's what's going to happen in Netflix. Then all the little bitch moaning fuckwits will fuck it up, and then.
I mean, look how many people donate money to charity, and what happens with the charity? The CEOs buy another fucking yacht, and there's you going, I done my bit for charity.
Yeah.
So they do your bit for where you can actively see it making a difference. It's one thing about charity I want to fucking talk about, by the way. Charity's bullshit. Genuinely bullshit, and I don't give a fuck who disagrees, right? Because you're fucking wrong. And I've decided I will never give to charity unless I can see where the fuck it goes, right? Because I'm sick of these wee tossers, these wee fucking, yeah man, hey, want to save a fucking child? Aye. Okay, you just have to donate. Alright then. So if I put this fucking tenner in your wee bucket, tell me how that goes to a child. Well, what it does is it helps us raise awareness. I know that children are dying though, so you don't need to raise awareness. Why do you need a fucking tenner to raise awareness, you ball bag? Like, look at Bono. Like, fucking 95% of everything his charity ever made has never gone across the third world countries. And do you know what his excuse was? Do you know what his fucking excuse was? Yeah, we don't actually go and intervene. What we fucking do, right, is we create awareness. We create awareness by what? Taking a fucking private helicopter to fucking gigs asking poor people for money.
Aye.
Fuck you, mate.
I did
Fuck
actually. I read an article maybe last week about it was the money for comic relief. Like 90% of the money that was raised for comic relief got spent on arms and tobacco.
Aye. Just fucking outstanding,
What
isn't
the
it?
fuck?
Outstanding. People, stop giving you money to fucking... See if you put the word charity. This is a charity. People are like, oh well, I'm a good person. This clearly indicates I'm a good person, so here's my money. I've done my bit. You haven't.
Do you know,
You really haven't.
best question to ask next time somebody asks you for money for charity, ask if it's a non-profit organisation, and then see where you stand on whether or not you want to give them money.
Before I even part with anything, I grill them, and I have a mate who we're fond of. Big shout out to Dylan, right? And we walked past a charity for cancer research, and they're like, there's this Glaswegian woman, and she's like, have you got a minute to have time and all that? I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, oh, here we go. This is going to be interesting. I wish I'd fucking got popcorn for this shit, right? So I can see Dylan's eyes kind of opening wider, right? And I'm like, here we go. And she goes, did you know that if you pay blah 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 this much, and you sign up and then a monthly fee blah 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 blah, right, we can get that cure to cancer and all that. Dylan's like, you, and this is Dylan, right? Mr. Factual in his head, rips open with, well, yous have been in business since 19 fucking whatever age, right? It's taking yous over 100 years, right, of constant fucking money thrown at yous, and yet here we are, still no cure for cancer. Yet I can give you 5 sources where they've claimed that, and they've got evidence, right, so to speak, evidence of medically treating cancers, right? Yet here you are, still none the fucking wiser after how much billions and billions of pounds have been poured into you, right? And she's like, oh yeah. He's like, look up the Bob Beck. He's like, go on your wee fancy iPad, go and look up the Bob Beck fucking thing, right? Which is a form of curing cancer and all this. And she was like, I'm very much aware of the Bob Beck, blah, blah. He's like, right, so why you want my money for stupid shit? He's like, let's all go and fund the Bob Beck stuff and that, right? The woman literally was like, look, mate, I'm not actually, even if you wanted to give me your money, I wouldn't take it. And she's like, do you know what? Fuck off, right? And I was like, holy shit. This cancer research charity worker, right, has turned and said to my mate, fuck off.
Was this
Right,
like
and
UK cancer research?
It was cancer research. I think it was UK. Yeah.
Obviously, we can't say that it was if you can't remember it. Definitely, was it
Well,
just
it's
a
the-
cancer research charity?
No, it was the cancer research. The one you see with all the pens and the vans and all that shit.
Maybe
It was
we're
them.
sure about that before we put that out.
Aye, like it's the official cancer research. I just wasn't sure whether you meant like the UK end of it, right? But it was that cancer research thing, for sure.
Okay.
And it's true. And here's what puts it into perspective, right? Akon, you know the singer Akon,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he went across to Africa and fucking kitted out like three big fucking major countries in Africa with solar panelled homes for all the poor people and wells. He built wells for people to get water.
Mhm.
So if Akon does that just off the money he made through doing his music, which by the way, no a big fan of your music, Akon, but fucking huge respect to you as a human being, right? He went across there and done all this, right, with his own money, and yet you don't see that shit from the government-backed charities and all these charities that claim they're fucking here to save the world. It's all a crock of fucking shit. And then when you do a wee bit of research and realise that the CEO of the charity is a fucking mega billionaire and has fucking 30 fucking houses across the globe, fuck you, mate. Fuck you. Seriously, it fucking fucks me off. It does. It really is. And no one questions how immoral it is. It's alright to bring up facts that fucking Bill Cosby's, drugging teenagers and fucking fiddling with them. Who brings up the fact that these charities are fucking scams? Scam artists. Like, where's the fucking panorama in that?
Would you be surprised to know that the government get money from charities? That's why.
Oh,
That's why
no
nobody brings it
fucking
up,
way.
because the fucking government will take money off that.
It's just atrocious. It's atrocious. All I'd say to anybody listening, if you're going to donate to charity, which I totally say, hey, if you can do something to make the world a better place, do it. Fucking look into it. look into it and figure out what's going on before fucking, find out where that money goes, who's at the fucking heart of it, how long they've been an established charity, and what work they've done before you give anything to them. Because everybody, the biggest fucking crooks are the ones that are wearing suits.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So this has been a kind of interesting episode. This has been a long time since we've literally just kind of shot the shit on stuff. I don't know how you're going to advertise this one, what you're going to say it's actually about, but it'll be cool to see. But just to reiterate again, thanks for coming to the cinema takeover. If you did, hopefully if you didn't come, you'll make it to the next one, and we'll get the date out for that very soon. Once it's announced, get to bathgatecinema.com and book your tickets. Book them in advance if you can, just so we can get an idea of how many people are going to be going.
Because if a lot of people turn up and we don't want to turn anybody away, and based on what we just done there with the Never Ending Story, it was a lot. So if had more people turned up, we would have had to have turned them away. But at least if you book in advance, then we'll know to open 2 screens.
Thanks again for that, and keep on coming, and don't give to charity. Anything else you want to say, Kevin?
No, that's me for this week, I think.
Okay, so on that note, we won't be back after this.
Well, by the wonders of technology, Charlie Flynn is with me now. He took part in the 10k this morning here in Glasgow, and he's got to the start, but he was at the finish about 20 minutes ago. How did you manage to get back so quickly? You didn't run, did you?
Oh, I bolted. No, on the way back here, we got a lift. I wasn't running back after that, man. I was like a wee guy in a mad pickup truck. I was like, you'd give me a lift home. So he gave us a lift back, aye.
Now, how was the 10k for you? Because you said in that little videotape there that you do 10ks and it's part of your training. So how was it today with all the people lining the streets of Glasgow?
Oh, it was great, man. Some buzz and a good feel-good factor when you're out running. I wasn't really competing or trying to set a record. I was just running. And it's great to see bands and people cheering and wains and all that along the way, and to see that the community's still on a high. It's brilliant.
Still is still on a high, and of course last year you had such fantastic success at the Commonwealth Games. You've now turned professional and you've had 4 wins from 4 so far. Things are going well for you.
5, I just fought a couple of weeks ago.
5 from 5, beg your pardon.
It was a knockout as well, so it's all good, man. Next one's in December in Glasgow. I'm looking forward to it. I might be down in England in the O2, so it's all moving, everything's going in the right direction. That's it, the high will never die, man. We're on the right track.
We're on the right track, of course, but you're the mailman who always delivers, so you get the fight over in December and then go back and do the Christmas letters, or are you going to, is that all stop now?
It's bit of dust, man. I'm just fighting now. It was too much working and training. I'd done it right up to the games and then won the games, and then I says, if I'm working and I'm beating all these guys, what could I do if I was full time properly? You know what I mean? So everything's going well. I'm real happy with the way everything's going.